Geekmore background, by the way.
That's right.
I don't mean to brag, but you still didn't fix everything. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
Boom. All right. And we're live. We're recording. Welcome to the KickFlix podcast. I've been away for a couple of weeks, but we are back. We are reviewing and talking about your favorite martial arts movies. I am Nary Science. With me, as usual, as has been every single episode, is Mike Mercadal.
Are you okay? What was that?
And
Wait, I'm curious. Do we not have the intro anymore? Is that not?
we do. I just forgot to do it, but we'll do it right after I say Jeff. With me, as always, is also Jeff.
I got
So
my
we'll
silk
do that.
boxers on and I'm ready to go.
You know what that makes you?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't say the word.
Bunch
Don't
of
say the word.
cigarettes. Don't say the
A
word.
bunch of
Don't say the word.
cigarettes.
Don't say the word. A bundle of sticks.
A bundle of cigarettes.
sticks. I actually have. I keep forgetting to do the new video, but I've actually updated the intro song. I just keep forgetting to put it into the video format. So
You're
I'm
not adding that word to it, right? Please don't.
Oh well, never mind. Then I guess we
Okay,
don't
thank you. All
have.
right.
How do we
Yeah,
tag this for
so-
metadata? How do we make sure
yeah,
the
how
search
do we-
terms are?
The U.S. Association, Tennis Association is going to mess us up again.
Oh my
I
God!
know. Here we go. Ready? Let's go.
It has begun.
First, we should observe the ancient ritual of traditional pre-fight donut.
Fear does not exist
I know.
in this dojo.
I don't have a video. I told you.
Am I the baddest mofo go down around this time?
Shut up!
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
It's pretty
You
silly.
will all refer to me by the name Betty.
I do.
Thank you, Chuck Norris. I said I do a chop.
Only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Defeat does not exist in this dojo. Does it?
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I told you we don't have the video. I don't have the video yet because I keep forgetting to make it, but I have the intro song. So therefore, I played the song without the video. That's the thing.
Okay.
I said that before. I
No,
know
but I remember a video.
Yeah, the countdown. We're talking about the countdown.
Right, but
He made a
don't-
video.
I haven't made the video with the updated intro.
Oh,
Therefore, I chose to play the updated intro rather than to play the video with without the updated intro. I feel like this is very easy. All right. So, like we were saying, I did it out of order, but you know what? Fuck it, man. This is how
That's
we
all right.
roll.
that's how we
Uh,
roll.
Listen,
We
we're
are
Free
KickFlix,
flowing.
and we are KickFlix, and this might be the most kickiest movie that we've reviewed. We are reviewing 1991's JCVD classic, Kickboxer. Oh, not Kickboxer.
Oh man,
So,
He had a
we
good
need
year.
to start over. We
Yeah,
have to
good year.
start over.
now it's the least kicky movie because he thought it was Kickboxer. We were
Well,
doing.
every Van Damme movie is a kicky movie.
I will say this: every Van Damme movie is the same kicky movie.
I do. I don't
The
know.
same kick. It's the same move, man.
No, man,
the
it's not true.
same
That's
move.
not
Yeah,
true.
yes, no, he's 100%.
No,
accurate.
he does side kicks and he does the kick that's up straight and he does the roundhouse. You guys
Yeah.
are taking away 2/3 of his repertoire. I don't know the disrespect in this
The split
podcast.
between I will say this: no respect for Double Impact from me. We'll start off with a hot take, but no, we got to start with the way we normally start off with. Let me read: Double Impact, 1991, rated R, clocks in at an hour and 50 minutes. The tagline from IMDb is: twin brothers are separated when their parents are murdered, but 25 years later, they reunite in order to avenge their parents' death.
Yeah.
Double Impact.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the other tagline? One packs a punch, one packs a piece. Together they deliver. That
Where
was
is that?
an IMDb.
IMDb, man.
I don't know
We
what
told
tag
you.
you read. You read the synopsis. You
I'm
didn't read
reading
the tagline.
the main.
Yeah,
the
and if you scroll down, we taught you this before. When you scroll down, you read all the taglines.
There's
You
a
can
thing
see
that says
all-
taglines.
Is there a shortcut to it? I'm not gonna scroll through this whole thing.
I know. I
scroll through the whole thing. It's an IMDb page. There's not a lot to
This
it.
is going great, guys. This is going so great. It's under storyline.
This is
they
what
have-
happens. This is what
they
happens
also-
when
okay.
you. This is
Yeah.
what happens when you take a 3-week hiatus. This is what happens, guys.
They also have "Feel the Impact." Is another tagline that they.
Oh
use.
wait, oh this one's good. Double Van Damme.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we got that. I don't know how much. we had to pay.
I forgot which movie because he's done like 5 movies where he plays a twin. 4.
Four
he
after
plays a
this
twin.
one.
And after this one,
Yes.
yeah,
What?
This
that
was
would
the
be-
first. This was
yeah, that
the
would be
first one.
That would be 5 movies. You said
No,
4
no,
movies.
4
after this
movies
one?
total. No, 4
Oh,
movies total. He did this, then he did Time Cop, he did
Mhm.
Maximum Risk, and
Mhm.
Replicant.
Correct.
Those are the 4
So,
movies where he's a.
he's
a
played
cop
himself
hero.
multiple times, and in one of them, I forgot which one. In one of them, the tagline is "Double the Van Damme, double the Van Damage."
Ooh,
That's a solid one.
Yeah, that. So I forget which
Yeah.
which movie it was for, but I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in." Chip moves chips to the middle of the table. I'm all in.
All
Let's go.
in.
Now, Mike, I know you like looking at the parents' guide. Did you see the parents' guide for this movie? Because the moment I saw it, I was like, "Please, Mike, you need to read this."
Well, this one, the parents' guide. It's first of all, the
I want to start off by saying,
yeah. First of all, it says it's an R-rated movie, so already the parents should know going in that's restricted. It's not for children. All right. The sex and nudity is listed as moderate, and I think it's all contained in that one scene where it's just like a dream sequence, like it's him fantasy, like it's like a weird cuckolding fantasy.
no, it's
Wait.
anger. It's an anger hallucination of like what he believes is happening.
Hold on.
But he created it's like fully manufactured in his own mind
Yes,
about
yes.
how, but then it also dragged on for like
Yes.
16 minutes. It
So-
was the longest weird fantasy.
The parents' guide I'm looking at says sex and nudity severe on
No,
IMDb.
No, sex and nudity severe? No, that
Yeah, for Double Impact. I'm looking at it. It says sex and nudity severe, violence and gore severe, profanity severe, alcohol, drugs, and smoking mild,
why does mine not say that?
frightening and intense scenes moderate.
I can't see shit.
We can't
Yeah,
see
yeah.
none of that.
But look, severe.
No, mine says moderate. 13 out of 35 found this one. Near the start of the movie, a woman stretches while wearing very skimpy leotard.
And orgasm.
Very sensual and about as close to nudity as you can get. A graphic
Who
sex
wrote
scene.
that? Who wrote that? Who wrote?
A
How?
churchgoer. I don't know.
I would like who? What Mormon was like? That's as close to nudity as possible. Like it's a leotard, lady.
You know
like
what-
that's
You know what's
a
as close
string
to
bikini
nudity
is
as possible?
is closer to nudity.
But with the close to nudity in a rated R movie is nudity.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's just nude. Sexual content, comma nudity. About an hour in, Alana Shaw's breasts are shown and a sex scene. That's the only sexual scene. I feel like they're leaving out the entire sexual assault moment
Correct.
in that.
Well, that one is kind of like understood. They don't really show it.
A woman frisks another woman in a sexual manner and then
she did.
asks her to frisk her.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, just so you guys are aware, there's multiple hand-to-hand and gun battles throughout the film.
Yeah.
There's 19 uses of the F word, 2 uses of MFer, 1 use of the P word, P-U-S-S-Y, and 1 use of the
Are we
other
not
F
saying
word.
pussy? We can't even say pussy now.
can
I'm
say
writing
pussy.
it how it's written on here. It's saying
Okay.
they've
Okay.
self-censored.
So they
okay.
completely left out the other F word.
Yeah.
2, but it only says 1 use of it. We are very clear that there's 3 uses of the
3.
F word.
F word that's not fuck.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or friend
The
Or
F word, the F word that we don't feel comfortable saying on the show
at all. At
Yeah.
all.
or
Not-
in
not-
life, really. I don't know.
At all. At all.
I don't say it at all anymore.
I'll just be saying cigarettes from now on.
Oh,
Yeah.
at one point, a character drinks to excess, drinking hard liquor directly from the bottle. He gets
does.
aggressive and violent, and later wakes up on a beach. Yeah, he smacks
First
the
of
shit
all,
out of the girl.
He skipped a lot between that. He didn't just drink, and then wake up on the beach the next scene. There was a lot. There was a fight scene in between.
Yep, he gets.
Did they watch this on Disney Channel? Like,
I
this
don't
seems
know.
like-
Someone watched the cable version of
Yeah.
the Double Impact on TBS. You know, like
I was gonna say TNT, but yeah, that's exactly what they did.
frightening and intense scenes. Close up of a frog chopped while alive, and that did
Yeah.
disturb the fuck out of me.
It
I was like,
really did.
"Whoa."
I was like, I remember that scene because again, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, but I remember going like watching it now, going like, oh shit, hey, that's a real frog. That's not
That
prop.
was a
That's not
legit
prop.
actual frog that they
That's not a
chopped
prop.
in half.
So you do realize that like this is one of the things I learned about this. They didn't get any permission to film the movie on the streets. They literally, all the fight scenes, all the action scenes, they had a steady cam and just said, all right, just go. If you hit pedestrians, you hit them. Just run through the street and let's do this.
Well,
like
this is
It's Hong Kong.
right, but
I
this
don't-
is post Bloodsport Hong Kong. Like this is like they've already shot in this city before. So it feels like it. Well, let's just start with the plot of the movie. It starts with
Well, you should give your 60-second like initial
oh,
thought.
right, yeah. I forgot we gotta we gotta stick to our format. So 60 seconds on the clock. This was bad. It was not bad in a way that I enjoyed because, first of all, not because of Van Damme in any way. I struggle with movies where the same person plays has to fight each other, like in Jet Li's The One, because it's phony baloney. Like your brain knows that
Wait,
it's
wait.
like not even.
That's the part of the one that's phony baloney.
No. But like if you compared to the movie we're gonna do next week, there's a lot less phony balonies in that,
Right.
because you don't have to your brain knows that the actor had to cut and there's a stunt man that kind of looks like him or not in some cases in this movie where you're just like that is obviously not that guy. And then also like the story did feel like super boiler, it was just standard 80s schlock, like it, or it's just like or 90s, like action martial arts whatever. And I will say this, maybe as a kid I enjoyed the Van Dammes in general. Like I was less discerning about my tastes of Van Damme, but I think this one may have slipped through the cracks. I just didn't think it was good. Like I was just like it felt also I always struggle with Van Damme movies where they have to explain not only how one guy has a French accent, but how two guys now have a French accent. I hate like I was just like, yeah, okay, he goes to the one French school in Hong Kong, and then he goes to he's like, that's why we raised you in France. Like, why? What reason do you have to give to raise? And also, there's always a guy named Frank in these movies, and that's way more than a minute. But nobody interrupted me.
So
Jeff?
with me, I actually saw it twice in the last 3 days because the first time I watched it, I messaged Neri and I was like, because I hadn't seen this movie in about 17, 18 years. And I remember watching this movie religiously when I was way too young to watch this movie religiously. And when I rewatched it after 17 years, the first time I told Neri, this is rough. Like, this is rough. Like, even for a Van Damme movie, this is rough. And then I watched the documentaries behind the scenes of some of the stuff, and it won me over a little bit. But
it redeemed it?
A little bit. And we'll get into some of that stuff later. And I rewatched it the second time, and I appreciate it more. But I think I'm going to be the middle of the road guy in this, where I don't think it's not going to be an amazing score for me, but it's not going to. I legit originally was going to give it like a 1.5 when I rewatched it after the first time. And
no spoilies.
Originally. That's not what I'm giving it now.
Oh.
But originally that's what I was gonna give, and then after I saw the documentary, so there's some things that I can appreciate, like that whole French thing. I didn't catch the first time I watched it, where the guy goes, "That's why we raised you in France," as a throwaway line. I was like, "Well, hey, they put it in there. They took the time to put it in there."
Like, hey, Chad.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, my name is Shad. It's like he can't even say his own name right.
Yeah. But I didn't hate it, and I do remember some of the reasons why I loved it, especially as a kid, seeing the boobies. But it was kind of, it wasn't great for me, and it wasn't as terrible as the first time I watched it this week when I rewatched it the second time. So I'm kind of in the middle of the road right now.
Well, I go with everything that Mike said, except the opposite.
The reverse,
The
yes.
opposite of everything that Mike said. I love the fact that this movie actually had a plot. It wasn't just like we're fighting for honor or we're fighting like it actually had a plot. There was a tunnel, there was money, there was embezzlement, there was finding shit out. There was like, oh, this guy's a clean businessman, and like there was a lot of like actual storyline that went with it. I was having this conversation with Jeff earlier. It's easy to make fun of Van Damme because of his accent. I, for one, don't get thrown off by the accent. I'm not a bigot, I guess. I don't know what word is that. I don't know what word that is.
Easy, buddy.
Yeah,
Easy.
whoa.
Yeah, well, people immediately like. There's a thing where I forget the name of it. Again, I disclaimer. I don't know if that's the name of it. There's a name for people who are like, oh, you have
I
an
don't
accent.
know what the word is, but let me say a really insulting word.
Well,
I'm gonna go for Big Air because I don't know the right
No,
one.
Big Air would have been racist. That would have been Big Air. I mean, I went with like second shelf. I didn't go with top
You're
tier.
gonna go top tier.
He didn't cigarette it.
But I think it's I'm not one to get thrown off by accents. I don't care. It's fine. I appreciated the fact that they gave an explanation as to why he has an accent. They didn't just. I don't need an explanation for that. It's fine. There are people in this country that have thick accents that live here 30 years, and I don't. It doesn't matter to me. Like I don't blink at it. My parents being one of them, or two of them. So I don't care if they give me an explanation, but I do appreciate when they do. And the explanation was a good one. He's like, we raised you in Paris. And if you go to, from what I understand, a lot of Asians travel to Europe all the time. And I don't think if you're running from people who murdered your boss and you have a baby in tow, I don't see it as crazy to think you ran to Paris to raise that kid. I don't think that's a big deal. That's not a big stretch.
I'm not
It's
saying
not
it's
crazy.
a big deal. I'm just saying that every Van Damme movie needs that because, like, it's just interesting how he became this action icon.
Yeah,
and
because he could do things that other people couldn't.
Right,
and he was a good-looking dude.
Look. Judging from certain camera angles and a director's obsession with this guy's butt, he's a good-looking man. He's well built, structured. He earned it. You can't not be a physical specimen.
No, you got the other picture, Neri. I sent you the other picture that's perfect for what Mike just said.
Yeah,
it's in the corner right there.
That's the one. That Bolo Young.
Yeah, Bolo Young. No, but that's the one in the corner.
I sent you another email. No, it's not that one.
Oh,
is it the one? Okay, because there is a point.
Wait, I'm still going through my 60 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Still going through this. I thought it was a good story. I thought I had actual plot. I enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed that, and like I said, it's easy to make fun of Van Damme for his accent or whatever, and it's easy to forget that these guys are actually actors. But I thought he actually acted in this movie. He was two very separate people. Two very separate characters in this movie. One of them was very meek and like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And the other one was very aggressive and I believe both characters. I believe that he was each a different character. And I was fine with that. I was kind of looking for, just to like kind of make fun of it for the podcast, to look for like, oh, that's clearly not Van Damme there. That's a body double. But I couldn't find it. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm not saying it wasn't there. It obviously was. There's fucking two people. It's obviously there, but there wasn't one that stuck out to me as there wasn't a Spaceballs moment where you go, what? Like
you arrested their stunt doubles.
Exactly. There wasn't a like Michael Jordan's mom in that fucking commercial. There wasn't like, oh my God, this is clearly, you never seen a Michael Jordan commercial? Mom. Michael Jordan did a commercial with his mom in the 80s at the peak of his airness. And he was like, she was like teaching him how to play basketball, quote unquote, teaching him how to play basketball. Mm-hmm. And then she runs and dunks the ball. But the person that's running, it was fucking, it was, come on, it was a man. They put a man,
like it was comedic.
No. It wasn't on purpose. They did that like, oh, that's a commercial. I mean, obviously, I don't think they believe.
We're supposed to believe that his mom just took
but they didn't laugh at it themselves. It was like, oh, thanks, mom. That's how you do it. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Anyways, back to Double Impact.
Would you have enjoyed this movie had it been a comedy, like a version of this story? For me, there were moments where it felt very much like someone wrote.
By someone you mean Van Damme.
Yeah. There's like two separate scripts going on. There's like two separate like vibes. It felt like two separate movies.
So the thing is, the movie
Not
itself
bad.
was based off of an Alexander Dumas novel, The Korskin
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah.
So it was based off of that. He had walked in. Van Damme had walked into an agent's office and saw the script for it, and he was like, "Oh, this sounds like a cool idea." So he got with Shelton Lettich, who had written Bloodsport and Lionheart, and was like, "Hey, let's put this together." So it is from two different perspectives. I'd like to think that I can figure out what parts Van Damme put in, like the hand job, the sex scene.
I think that was Alexander Dumas. I got to be honest with you. That sounds a lot like Alexander Dumas.
The movie was originally not supposed to be in Hong Kong. It was supposed to be in Corsica, in Italy, because that's where the original book was from.
That would have made so much more sense.
But they got a discount for filming in Hong Kong, and they only got a $15 million budget for this movie.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, if we can cut corners going over there, let's just go. Guess what? Now it's Hong Kong.
I don't understand how the story or this movie would have made more sense in Italy. It's
the language, French being, because here's the thing, and if you know anything about Hong Kong, you know that it's a British colony.
Yes.
The thing is that it's all about UK British. So for him to have had a French, like if he would have had a British accent, absolutely. There's a million people with British accents in the UK, in Hong Kong. I mean, geographically speaking, like the fact that if it would have taken place in Italy, the accent, it wouldn't have even been an issue. You know what I mean? It wouldn't even.
It wasn't an issue for me at all.
No. I'm just saying that because I've seen so many Van Damme things, it's always tricky for me to find out. Like it's hard to like just enjoy the story, because the whole time I'm like, this guy's got like a thick ass accent, and then they're gonna have to find a way to explain whatever it is, you know. And I've seen so many movies where he just has the same accent. In this movie, when he tries to sound American, it pulls me out of it, because I know that's not what he sounds like. So like it's my fault for having seen too much Van Damme, having had so much Van Damme in my life.
But then again, you're not supposed. And the thing is, I didn't have a problem with his accent. I'm just glad that they figured out a way, that they realized as writers, hey, these two guys were raised in two completely different places. Mm-hmm. We have to figure out ways, even if it's subtle, to say, hey, they're brothers. And that's why they have similar accents. You know, oh, he was raised in a French nunnery. He was raised in France.
Sure. Like he couldn't have come out like, you know, oh God, what was the fucking, like The Parent Trap? The Parent Trap, when Lindsay Lohan is British and then she's also American, and as the other girl is American, because they were raised in completely separate places. Like that's the thing, is that like language is so specific to where you grew up, you know, like even like when I moved up here to New York and people were like, oh, you sound like you're from Miami. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means, because everyone I grew up around is from Miami and talks like they're from Miami. It's not a big deal. It's just something that kept like nagging at me throughout the whole movie. There's other things that there's other, like in terms of like the fighting and all that stuff. There was a lot in this movie where I was like, well,
that's one thing. That's a kind of a good segue, because I was going to ask you guys, because to me, some of the fight scenes, except for like that shadow fight scene at the end that he did with the guy with the boot, I loved that, how that looked. The Bolo fight, I got mad after watching the documentary, because they cut out a bunch of scenes from that fight scene. Like that fight scene was all right, but I was like, this after
they cut out, like, why did they say why?
They just the studio on the cutting room floor, like they did a bunch of edits. Like there was little like cheesy little throwbacks, but it's little subtle things that like as somebody that I kind of pay attention to some of these details, like that scene in the when Chad is first meeting Bolo and they like beat him up when Bolo breaks that guy's neck, Bolo hits him in the nuts and grabs him in the nuts when he tries to do like one of his spin kicks. They cut out a scene where Bolo swings at him, he comes down and he does the same exact thing to Bolo, kind of like a revenge move to him.
Callback.
I thought like a callback that they got rid of that. I thought that Donkey Kong kick with the bucket, that he's like, no martial artist is gonna kick. Yeah, with the barrel. Like no martial artist is gonna. They know what that's gonna do to your leg.
Yeah.
That
Well,
should have snapped his leg.
Can I say I liked that because he went down like a fucking bag of rocks because he was like, I immediately regret that decision.
Right.
Like if he would have fucking kicked the barrel and been like, bring on the next one, I would have been like, get the fuck out of here. But the fact that he kicked it and immediately was like, ow, and then he just fucking fell to the floor and grabbed his hamstring. He's like, yeah. What do you think is gonna happen, Chad? Jesus Christ!
But why
guys.
couldn't he move out of the way? Like Bolo,
He
like
literally just didn't think about it. Is what I'm
literally,
saying.
like 2 seconds later, Bolo it runs at him. He dodges him, and then Bolo just like throws it backwards, literally right over his head. He's like, "Oh, I have enough time to dodge this now."
Also, can we take a moment to just appreciate Bolo Young and his contribution to
society,
martial arts cinema?
Like, I like that it says "Hi-ya."
I know that's why I took that picture. Like,
with the scar face and the eye, there's something about a cloudy eyeball that is always really like, oh, that's a guy I want to pay attention to. So he's got one cloudy eye.
So Ninja Assassin had a dope ass villain, and I think this movie was full of fucking dope ass villains. You got Bolo Young. To a way lesser extent, you have the fucking cowboy boots guy because he was only in like 2 scenes of the movie.
Is that the long hair guy?
Yeah.
I don't know where that
like
came
that
from.
guy.
I like him, but I don't know where he came. Like he only showed up at the fucking at Alex's place of business.
Around.
He was at Club Climax
he had the long
too.
hair.
Yeah, and then he fucking. I like the fact that when the girl went to when the girl was looking the female. Fucking, I don't know, molester. I don't know what
the muscle lady.
The terrible worst part of the movie. Just say the worst part of the movie.
I secret like no, not the. I loved her in the movie because it was just like her being muscle lady, and that was like the extent of her character.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the blonde. I thought you were talking about the blonde. My bad.
You think the blonde's the worst part of the movie?
Yeah. Yes. Her acting was horrible. Like compared to everybody else in this movie.
Which that is a bold statement, my friend.
And especially when
in Double Impact, the blonde lady is the worst.
I agree with him. I think Van Damme did a really good job acting. I know you don't like Van Damme and you don't believe he's a good actor. He played 2 different roles and he played it differently. It was fucking. I thought it was really good acting.
Mike, so this movie was his. He said it in that amazing interview that I sent you guys the screenshot of, where he had the Playgirl poster behind him.
What a baller move, by the way!
Baller, super baller.
Jeff sent us a little clip of the I guess press junket or some sort of press that he was doing. He has his own Playgirl like here, like right next to him, so it's in every shot. It's it's like right there.
One, I agree that's a baller move, and I think that's why I love the guy. But 2, we actually don't know if that was him or his people doing that. That could have been just like.
Oh no, it was him. No, it was him because in the interview she points it out to him and he goes, "Yeah, I did the Playgirl." It's
fucking baller move. All right, I was gonna say we don't really know. I was gonna try to take away credit. I'm like, it's a baller move, but we don't know if it really was him. And okay, good, baller move.
But what he tells her in the interview is that he wanted to be part of the writing process for this movie because this was his coming out of not just being the action guy. He wanted to show his range in being an actor by playing the 2 different roles, by doing that, which I agree with Neri. I mean, the acting's not 100% fantastic. I wouldn't say that, but you do see him.
He is playing 2 separate people. Like you can tell.
It's not like it's not like, oh look, we're just gonna have one guy with his hair slicked back and it's the same. He could have done that. He could have just dialed it in and be like, I'm the same. I'm different because look at my hair. He didn't. He fucking played it very differently. One of them is clearly weaker than the other one. I like the fact that they set that up even as in the opening shot as babies, where the fucking photographer comes and takes a picture and fucking the baby Chad cries like a bitch. And then the fucking dad goes up to baby Alex and goes, "Yeah, Alex doesn't think what opening scene.
That was the opening scene. That was the
opening scene in the tunnel. They're doing the ribbon
reveal. The reveal,
Right before the reveal, they take a picture of the babies. Their babies are in their carriages. One baby starts crying, and the mom was like, "Oh, Chad, it's okay." And then fucking the other baby doesn't do anything. Dad rolls up right behind the other baby who doesn't cry and goes, Alex didn't think that was worthy of crying. Like he was just like, get the fuck out.
Speaking of the babies, can we talk about how there was no car seats in Hong Kong for a diplomat? Like the kids were just sitting in the backseat with the
Brother,
crazy.
this is 91. This is 91, dog. Ain't no car seats in America.
And
There were
Bolo
no car
shoots
seats in America.
he shoots a shotgun blast straight through that windshield, right where fucking one of those kids' heads was.
Yeah.
Like that kid
they
should
did
have been
not
full
give
of
a
bird
shit.
shot.
They were straight up murdering those kids.
I love the fact that Bolo, and that's a great scene, by the way, too. The introduction of Bolo Young was fucking dope as shit.
With that suit, with that Indiana Jones and the freaking Raiders, like Raiders of the Lost Ark suit or Temple of Doom suit.
That was a good. I liked all that shit. I liked the whole fucking thing.
You know, my favorite part about that whole thing was the CB radios that they had in those luxury vehicles.
Yeah, where he's like, take the night off. It's like, hey, Frank,
hey, Frank.
But it's true, like pre-cell phones or pre-whatever it is that we had, like all of the technology we have now, CB radios were like legit the social media of its time.
Right.
And ham radios and stuff like that. Like people still do that shit. Like they try to like see how far they can communicate, and they'll do like these broadcasts and stuff like that on shortwave radio to like other countries because of the way that the radio waves work. You can reach much farther distances. And with CB radios, that was like 10-4 good buddy, what's your 20, all that shit. Like all of that CB speak that truckers use and all that stuff was like a social media network back in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that.
It was just so funny to see like his little Ferrari or whatever, Corvette, whatever that was, and just the CB radio, like, all right, I guess I'll take the night out. But can we agree this movie and the movie we're going to talk about next week both have a common theme of shitty bodyguards? Because Frank should have been like,
Frank was a shitty bodyguard. I think Frank, he was given an order, go fucking home, and he was like, and he goes, nah, I'm gonna stay with you. And then his boss insisted. I don't know if that's a shitty bodyguard. Oh, and by the way, he also raised his fucking children after he was killed.
Yeah, he wasn't
one of them.
Yeah, he wasn't like that. He wasn't like the fucking maid that was like, "Nah, this white kid's not my problem."
Yeah.
I did. Well, look,
the maid was like, "Look, I got 2 hands and there's 2 kids. I'm only taking one."
Yeah. Pick and choose, motherfucker.
I'm
gonna take the one that's not crying like a bitch.
Yeah. This one will make it here.
What's the assumption? So okay, so if we're not going to talk about the accents and the French and all that stuff, does Alex speak Chinese?
If we're not going to talk about it, we already did.
No, but like I don't want to like belabor that whole point,
right.
but because I do want to ask the question: does Alex speak Chinese, like
Cantonese? Yeah, he probably. I assume that he
would
did.
Assume he would. He was raised
because
there,
he owns it, and not only that, but he owns a business in which they're playing a game.
Mahjong.
I believe it. I would say he did. I mean, I don't think he did in the movie, but he.
How dope would it have been if at some point Van Damme just says one thing in Chinese, like has a like couple sentence conversation in Chinese?
Even Chris Tucker did it in freaking Rush Hour.
Yeah,
he said like 1, 2. He
it
said
doesn't
3
matter.
words in Chinese.
Like add some legitimacy, man. I want to see them acting chops. I want to see the commitment to the role.
Yeah. I agree. I assume that Alex did speak Cantonese, but you're right. We probably should have seen it. Yeah.
So did you guys? Because Mike, you did martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I did. All right. Let's put it this way. I did strip mall martial arts.
Okay.
Right. Like that's the standard like kids martial arts, and then the teenagers who get really into it martial arts, and then like the people who start being weird about it martial arts. Like those are the levels, unless you start doing MMA, which everything kind of goes out the window because nobody sticks to the martial art anymore. They mix, you mixed martial arts. But like anyone who's like an older person, like I remember, I look back on it now and I'm like, ooh, this is weird. Like it was weird to be calling somebody master. Like that's fucking weird.
Did you ever have any?
That's not weird at all. That's tradition in martial arts.
He's a guy from Kendall.
Yeah,
he lives in Kendall. He can't be a master at an art form.
That was my soccer coach.
Yeah, that's also the guy who he like also works at Denny's. Like,
first of all, didn't you call him? It wasn't he Sifu? He's not.
Yeah, no, that was no. There's other. I'm not my Sifu because that just means teacher. Like that's totally fine. And even sensei just means teacher. But then there's people like, oh, God, I can't wait till we get to the foot fist way on here. I hope we get to do it. I hope that counts as a martial arts movie because it is 100% a different martial arts movie, but it is totally like that culture of karate people who are like in small town North Carolina
That's
who
the
are
Kenny,
like, I'm Master Tiger, whatever. And it's like, no, you're not. No, you are not.
So the reason I ask you is, did you ever have pastel colored gis like they did at Chad and Frank's dojo?
I was also not in the martial arts in LA in the 80s. So I don't
Beverly
know.
Hills.
I don't know. The gis, I've seen like different colored gis, but those were definitely like, let's jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Let's
That was
let's add the
definitely
spice.
like, hey, let's show that he's in LA. Let's
Yeah.
like
What's
let's
more LA than pastel?
We need
Yeah.
some pastels.
So-
this was the most LA. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
So that while you look it up, the guy with the ponytail that he fights, the jerk guy,
Yes,
that was Michael Keaton's stunt double in Batman. That he wait. Oh wait. There it is.
There it is,
Oh, yeah, I had
baby.
I sent you. There's the award-winning camera work. That's the one I sent Neri.
I'm in.
For the audio listener, and if you did not watch the movie before listening to the episode,
Shame on you.
very, very prominent camera shots of Van Damme's toned buttocks in the tightest of spandex pants, and he's straight up like quote unquote massaging these women.
Yes.
One of the women on the thing. It was, you know what? I will say that lady the Mormon lady who said the things about like that it was sexual in nature, near nudity. There was a moment where I was like,
she there was an orgasm from that lady.
That was close.
There was a moment where I was like, I literally, and this is for the audio listener, this is a straight up visual gag, but this is the true story. So I'm watching that scene, and then he's opening her legs, and then this is my reaction. This is me watching it.
Little did you know there would be anti-gravity sex later in the movie.
Oh my god! So can we run through the plot of the movie just so we know? Like,
hey, Hilda.
Hilda
commented.
I just clicked this link, and for a split second thought, who's the naked fourth square? And then I realized who it was. That's a picture of me to the audio listener. That's a picture of me.
So we start with the flashback or the introduction of them as babies, the whole like criminal or not criminal, the whole like
Murder?
Corporate espionage kind of assassination, because they show the bad guy, they show the main bad guy, that the white guy, the Hong Kong businessman who kind of put the hit out on these people,
who was in Lethal Weapon.
Griffith,
that's right. Yeah. And then it fast forwards, and then they show like the two different lifestyles, and then Frank, who failed as a bodyguard, correct? Bad bodyguard. He failed, and then raised one of the kids, but the other one, does it ever talk about like how, like, he was just in an orphanage, like just raised?
That's basically all it is. That Alex there. That's one other thing that I did not like about the movie, is that there wasn't a moment where they weren't fighting, where they just had this like, hey, this is what I went through in life, or hey, this is what I went through in life.
Yes,
like that. There, because the way that they go from 0 to 100 in like Frank's like, oh, well, by the way, you guys are brothers. Here's this, and Alex at first is like, no, fuck you, go back. He even says, go back to Disneyland with your outfits, and he's like, I don't want anything to do with this. And then Chad's like, did you hear what he said? We're brothers. They're our parents.
He said they killed our parents. Look at our parents. He showed a picture.
If you let me finish, let me finish, I would be able to say it. They killed my parents. They killed our parents. Let's go do it. And Alex is like, all right, fuck it, let's go then. And it's like, what? You just were like telling him to go the fuck home. Sentence, and you're like, no, let's go risk my life.
So this is the only part of the film that I was like, wait, what? Is the very next scene after what you're talking about, Jeff? They're selling cars in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck does this have to do with
the Mercedes with cigarettes?
Yeah, I'm like, what does this have to do with? But I was okay with all of that if they would have just said one line. We need money.
Yes.
To like that's it.
Yeah,
like,
right.
One line. We need money to hire people, like, or to buy guns. I'm assuming that's what the money was for, to buy the guns that they ended up buying the next scene.
Isn't Frank rich?
Well,
Frank is living in
Chad have
LA.
money. Frank and Chad have money, but then I don't know about rich. I mean, maybe Hong
Those
Kong.
V's are expensive.
Yeah.
But so here you mentioned the cars. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when they're getting chased by the police, and their thought process is, let's drop the cars into the bay and then blow them up. And that is the way that they escape. Mind you, the bay is like 5 miles long, and there's just 2 cars on fire that the boat could have just been
I'll
like,
just go around.
let me just go around here and just keep chasing you. And they were like, nope, I guess that's it. Look, the car's on fire.
Do you think the audience for this movie has ever seen a boat before? No. Then good. Then it makes sense.
We got it.
Do they know how water works? Not. So we just assume they don't. So
yeah, I like that scene. I was just very confused as to why that scene was taking place to begin with. If they just missed that one line is like, we need money for guns. Cool, all right. Like if it could have been anybody saying it. It didn't even need it. It could have been Frank saying it. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Chad could have been like, what the fuck is going on? And Frank being like, we need to finance this, man. We're gonna need a lot of firepower, and we need to fight like that. Something. It just gives me something.
Chad was just upset because he almost got his beautiful outfit, which I sent you a picture, Neri. Because can we talk about
some
Van
of those
Damme
fits are dope.
Fashion icon. Fashion
some
icon.
Of those fits deserve to be commemorated.
Look at that with the folds in the shoulder, the ruffles in the shoulder.
What is the shoulder? What are we? Are you
wears
a officer? Are you an officer that you need stripes? What are we going? What the fuck is going on here?
Wait, I do have a question. Also, why didn't Frank tell him you have a twin brother who looks exactly like you?
Yeah.
So if someone comes up to you and is like, "Hey, you're this guy," that's why, but he lets him walk into this bar
and get a hand job.
I don't know. Hey, why not?
Say a fucking word. No, but he also gets threatened, and they're like, "Hey, boss, here's your drink. How you like it?" And he's like, "What the fuck?" And Frank's just like, "Eh."
Yeah, Hong Kong, right?
What a town!
Hong Kong, it's Hong Kong, bro.
Hong Kong,
wait,
baby.
But Mike, are you talking about the guy who literally just goes up to him? Hey, by the way, I'm not your fucking uncle. Like just like nonchalantly.
That's what I was gonna get you. That's
hey, by the way, fuck you, I'm not your uncle.
I was okay with him saying, no matter what, I was okay with him saying like, oh, by the way, I'm not your uncle, right? Like, hey, that's another thing. I'm not your uncle. What I was really surprised with is that Chad immediately stopped calling him uncle. Because there's been many times where somebody, if I've been calling Mike for fucking 10 years, and then he goes, hey, by the way, I don't like Mike. I like to be called Michael. I'm gonna slip and say fucking Mike a few times before I get it right.
100%.
Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna immediately, if I've been calling somebody uncle for 25 fucking years and he goes, I'm not your uncle, I might slip once or twice before I finally get that shit right. Like if he got it right, he was like, oh good. I've been meaning to stop calling you fucking uncle. Thank God you told me.
He's like, finally, shit.
I've been living with. That's why I lost my hair. I was so stressed out about pretending to be your uncle.
That guy was a great actor too, man.
He's
in a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, he's Juliette Lewis's dad.
You just said that because he's old.
No. He's like he was in other Van
Juliette
Damme
Lewis Dreyfus?
Juliette Lewis from like
Juliette Lewis.
Natural Born Killers and what I love about the other thing I loved about this movie is that the barometer.
Weird. I've done weird things to the thought of his daughter. That's a weird thing now.
Well, yeah. So the barometer for sexiness, according to the script, is Sean Connery. Because there was that line that was like, "You're handsome like Sean Connery." It was like,
Sean Connery in '91 was still fucking really good looking, bro. I mean, I like the fact that he got offended. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
He was offended. I'm like, "Sir,
how dare you,
sir? I'm not saying you did not do well for yourself, but you can't tell me that you did better than Sean Connery in 1991. Are you out of your fucking mind, sir? Let's be real."
So okay, I wanted to mention something because I had mentioned the blonde girl and how she was the worst actress in the entire movie.
Yes, give us that behind the scenes goodness.
But
I'm kind of on board with that. I'm not saying she was an awful actress, but I do agree that she was the worst one in the movie.
But when I tell you this, you're gonna hate it even more. The original actress that actually did a screen test with Van Damme to play that character was Tia Carrera. Because they wanted.
I'm assuming Tia said no to the sex scene, and he was like, "Fuck
because
that."
The thing is that they wanted Alex to have an Asian or a Chinese woman as his girlfriend because it made more sense than just having another random. In this case, I think she's American. I don't even think she has an accent. in the movie.
That's how much you know that you remember whether like
Yeah,
it's just like
I don't
whatever.
even know. I just
She's
remember her nipple.
Insert
That's
white
it.
lady here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was her first movie.
And last probably.
I don't know about that.
No,
but
no, no, no. I think
I
she
only
did like
know
a
that
couple.
because it said introducing Fulana
Oh,
de
it
Tal.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You saw more than
Fulana
I-
de tal, we don't
Fulana
know.
de tal.
Fulana de Tal as white girl with a nipple, and I'm like, oh, okay, good.
But yeah, it was she when I see her Tia Carrera, I'm like, she probably could have done a better job at this. Even a young
Yeah,
Tia
but
Carrera
I
could have
really
done
don't believe Tia would have done a fucking nude scene, a sex scene. Like that's a
Probably
heavy
not.
fucking sex scene, and I know it's at that time that was after Bloodsport and after Kickboxer and after Lionheart. There's no that was in his writer. No, we need to fuck every movie. We need to fuck like that needs to be a thing. And it's like no way Tia was. I don't know. I'm just speculating because of her roles that she's done. She doesn't strike me as somebody who does sex scenes, especially. For us.
So the blonde did have another movie after this, Cyborg Cop, a made-for-TV movie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Cyborg Cop. That sounds
Yeah.
fun.
She was on an episode of Drew Carey Show as Woman. She was on an episode of Diagnosis Murder as Claire.
Sounds like a working actress, man. Good
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her.
I gotta be honest with you. When you said cyborg woman, a cyborg cop, immediately I was like, because they saw her in this movie and they're like, she acts like a robot.
Yeah.
Put her in this. And
she was in the Superboy TV show.
Oh, that's a good one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I tried
But
to.
Can we talk about so she originally mistakes Chad for Alex and then does a handy in public, which
right.
Not public.
but
his
in
office.
a not.
I
Yeah,
mean, they were in the
like,
doorway.
off to the
It
side.
wasn't totally
Yeah.
in the office.
But it was like she spur of the moment was like, come put your dick in his hand, like that kind of thing. And then he's like, oops. Which also begs the question:
Oops.
what if one of them is one of them circumcised and the other one not? Like,
Then
No,
she
they
would
would've
have
done
been
that.
able to tell.
Yeah, but they would have done that as babies. They would have like the mom's not gonna do that. The mom was still alive when that decision is made. They're not gonna. What kind of mom goes? Yeah, let's fuck them up.
let's
Eeny,
wait
meeny,
until they're
miny-
18.
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, that one circumcise him now, and then the other one will wait for a fucking while for him to.
I just grossed myself out with a line that I wanted to say, but it was like, yeah, let's wait until they're fully grown so there's more meat.
I have a friend of mine who got circumcised as a grown adult, like in his 20s, 30s.
I know somebody who did that too.
Oof. No, thank you.
And to me, it's like, as someone who had that decision made for them when they were young, like part of me is also like, why is everybody so cool with fucking chopping dicks off, like the tips of dicks off? Like it's weird. It's so weird.
Before I had kids, I thought I was going to circumcise my son. I'm not circumcised, but I thought I was going to circumcise my son. And then when I had my son, I was like, no. Like it wasn't even the thought did not go through. I was like, am I? Nope.
I like how this is where we ended.
Yeah,
where
talk
we're
about
like, where it
double
led
impact.
Double impact led us to, hey man, circumcision.
Yeah. So
circumcision is a very personal decision, and you want to make it.
Right, but then so she did that. She fucks up. Whatever. So and then Alex is obviously upset at the situation and
calls him a bunch of sticks.
He calls him He calls him a bad name, and then if he really thought he was one of those, why did he fantasize?
He didn't really think that. This is in the 90s when they were. This is pre-woke when they would say that word not as a homosexual slur, but more as a, as a insult just to either their masculinity or you're not
using a
like
dehumanization to
correct. It was more of a you're lame type of deal. Where again, not defending it, but
it's just funny because he shouts it out during that fantasy sequence.
Yeah.
He shouts it out.
Yeah.
In the middle of thinking about him fucking his girlfriend or fiance or whatever. And just like the sheer like cognitive dissonance of that is very startling because he also spits like a cloud of
the
juice.
It was gross.
He drinks from the bottle. We've heard that from our lifeguards earlier. But watch out.
I'll tell you this, Chad's the worst brother out of the two. I mean,
Ooh, that's a good
I-
interesting take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
because Chad, the whole rest of the movie, even after he found out, he was still going after that Kool-Aid. Like
No, he
he was
wasn't.
still.
I don't think he was going after it though.
I don't
I
think
think
he was
he's
ever
so
going
used
after
to
it.
like girls around him because he does. Clearly, he fucks. Like clearly,
But-
he's got all these women back home. You know, and there, like they just had all of these. It was so odd and very weird to see them like just with the Asian prostitutes and the girls and the clubs and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Like I'm just like, ooh, that feels really colonizer-y. That feels
This isn't
so
good.
weird.
Nope.
It
Nope.
did not. It felt very yucky.
Yeah.
And then to like for him to be like, Alex, that's your fiance. Fine, whatever. There's so many other women in this movie. There's like so many other opportunities. Why are you so worried about this guy going after your fiance? And also like they were in the middle of life and death situations, and also like that's your priority. It's like, yeah, whatever, man. They want to kill us. We gotta we gotta avenge our parents' murderer. Yeah, fuck whoever you want. We'll figure it out later. You know?
He's like, if this goes right, we're gonna get all the money from the tunnel. We'll buy plenty of other way. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. It's
We can
totally
get
fine.
so many women.
By
from
the
this.
way, we're in a country where prostitution is fucking rampant.
Yeah.
It's fine. We could afford other women.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Now I'm
We're
just
good.
thinking about the Invincible meme where think it through, Mar, think it through.
Yeah.
Where he's like, think about because it's
Now-
just like one step further, it would have been fine. And it didn't really derail anything, right? He was just
No.
through a little fit, and then they're like,
They
no.
fought. I think
they
it was
fought.
meant to be like they fought each other, and then I think him waking up on the beach and then seeing these guys like raiding it. I think
Right.
that was like their version of the wake up call of like, oh, but this is my brother. Because right afterwards, that's when they work together. They do that whole thing on the boat, which is a
Oh, right.
callback to Naked Van Damme and on the lower half of our screen, which is the last shot of the movie. Because Alex does that to him right before he stabs the dude in the chest with the knife when they're getting on the thing. Let me, because I know we're getting close to the end here. I want to tell you guys a cut scene from the end of the movie, which I wish they would have kept in the movie instead of ending it with that amazing screen, that freeze frame. The ending, one of the original endings of the movie was that Chad and Frank are back on a plane heading back to LA, and they're sitting and they're talking, and Frank's got like, and they filmed it. And Frank, I saw a video of it. Frank's got the neck brace on.
Mhm.
And the stewardess goes, "Hey, can I get you guys anything?" And when they look up, it's the twin of Alex's girlfriend.
What?
Yeah, so she's a twin also.
What? I don't know.
No, I am glad I did not use that.
And they,
No.
both look at each other, and then that's how the movie ends. Like,
What?
then it's like
No.
like Double Impact 2 is about the cloning facility where all of these people
Well,
are
It's
made.
called Triple Impact, sir.
There was gonna be a Double Impact 2.
Okay.
Neri asked me about this, and I looked it up. So they did write a 25-page. I forgot what the term the
Treatment?
treatment. Thank
It's a
you.
treatment.
It was Sheldon Lettich again. He wrote it, and the premise was going to be that Alex or the twin from Hong Kong was going to come to LA because the twin in LA is a con man, and he messed up and got involved with some mob guys and messed them up, so they're going after him. So he comes over here to help him out, and Dolph Lundgren was supposed to be the mob guy or one of the
Ooh.
hitmen, the mob guy. But the problem is that MGM still owned the majority of the rights to Double Impact, and they wanted a ton of money because since the movie made, I mentioned earlier, it had a $15 million budget. It made $30 million worldwide. So, and it doubled its money. So in all terms, it was a success. And they were like, well, this made a bunch of money, so we want a ton of money to give you the rights to be able to do this. And they weren't willing to do it because this was as recent as Expendables 2. He mentioned this in Expendables 2 that they were actively working on a script.
A Double
Damme.
Impact sequel in
Yeah.
Expendables 2?
Van
No,
Damme during his
Right,
press,
but I mean during like recent. Like in the
during
2000s.
press, he mentioned it in one of the interviews and
Jesus.
said, "Yeah, we're working on Double Impact 2. We're just trying to figure out some logistics on it." but it never happened because MGM was wanting way
Yet.
too much money for the rights.
Yet.
Right,
The
right.
fuck,
Yeah.
man. Come on, man. Think positive. Jesus.
Do you know why they called it Double Impact?
Because there's two of them. And
Twins.
they hit
Van
you?
Damme. Nope. Has nothing to do with that. That was the name. That was the name that Van Damme gave for, if you've noticed in all his movies, when he punches somebody or kicks somebody, that it does that double shot of you seeing the person get hit like multiple times by the kick or by the punch. He refers to that as Double Impact, and he would do that in all his editing for his movies. And they were like, "Hey, that's a good name for this. Let's just call it Double Impact." So it had nothing to do with the twins.
This movie about twins
Right, had nothing to
That
do with
fight. Twins that fight.
that
This
fight
movie about twins that fight.
that make
Right.
impact with fists, feet, or bullets.
right. Sometimes at the same time, doubly. Has nothing to do. With
This is like when somebody goes to me, "Hey, what does the G on the Green Bay Packers helmet stand for?" And everybody goes, "Green Bay," and they go, "No, it stands for greatness." And you go,
Mhm. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And because the guy who designed the helmet says that the G stood for greatness. I'm like, the G in the Green Bay Packers helmet stands okay. Okay.
Yeah.
This
So-
is like what's that anime cat that's very popular, that fucking little
Garfield?
kitten? No, like the kitten, the fucking white
Garfield?
the white
I
cat.
want to see a Garfield anime so bad right now.
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty. The creator of Hello Kitty said that Hello Kitty, that because Hello Kitty has a name. Whatever the fucking character's name is. The creator of Hello Kitty said that whatever the fucking cat's name.
Sanrio.
Yeah, Sanrio is not a cat. And you
It's
go,
a little girl.
that's what he said. That it's a little girl, it's not a cat. I'm like, bitch, the name is Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
It looks like a cat. It has whiskers. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
What kind of mutated child has those ears?
Double
and that-
Impact is
the
not
whiskers?
nothing to do about twins.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why the movie? You know why the Van Damme movie with him and Dennis Rodman is called Double Team? Nothing to do with the fact that he teams up. No, it's because he's a basketball player, and so he's playing defense.
I thought you were
Get
gonna
up.
go.
Double dribble.
I thought you were gonna go with they were in Hong Kong one night at one of these brothels.
That's what Dennis Rodman refers to the double impact of no, I don't know.
Yeah. So
But-
Rotten Tomato score,
Oh,
because we
right.
always do it.
Yeah.
35% from critics, 42% from audience. Which I told Neary, I went on Rotten Tomatoes and I looked up Van Damme's filmography. And
Interesting.
this is about an average for all of his movies.
Interesting.
All of his movies range between 30s for critics and 40s for audience, with the exception of certain movies like Kung Fu Panda 2, where he has 2 lines in the movie. I got a 92%. I told Neary, Kickboxer, was it Retaliation? Neary?
Retaliation. Hot garbage.
Which Neary says is awful, has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics.
Yeah, that movie is the absolute that movie is and it's not Van Damme's fault because he's barely in that movie. But so they made in 2016 they made a sequel to the original Kickboxer from the 80s, and then in 2018 they made another sequel, and one of them was garbage and the other one is one of them is hot burning garbage and the other one is diarrhea. And they're saying that the one that's diarrhea is rated higher, and I'm like, as a Van Damme fan, you've heard me on this podcast defend now 2 different fucking Van Damme movies vehemently, and I'm telling you, Kickboxer Retaliation is hot garbage.
And that's his highest rated movie under his Rotten Tomatoes list.
It's higher than JCVD? I just out of curiosity.
I'll tell you right now what
JCVD is
JCVD
legitimately a great movie.
JCVD's legit good.
JCVD is 84% by critics, 74% by audiences.
No.
Yeah.
So is that not higher than
Kickboxer Retaliation's 92% from critics, 84%.
But how many? I need to know how many votes. That was like done by Van Damme and his publicist. Like I don't understand how that movie.
I'll tell you. Does it tell you how many? I don't even know if it tells you how many people.
I don't even know.
13 reviews for critics, 500 plus reviews by audience.
Wow, that's shocking. Well,
so yeah.
So what do we rate this movie? Double Impact.
How many double impacts do you rate this?
I rate this 2 shipping containers squashing old white men out of 5.
Oh, that shipping container scene that had no fucking.
Yeah.
He was gonna jump in the water anyway.
Yeah.
There was nothing that was gonna hurt him.
Yeah, he could have.
Anyway,
He literally could have just jumped in the water.
Yeah.
So for me, like I kind of like my thing is the fight choreography, right? Like I just want a martial arts movie to look good in terms of like the fighting, at least. Like at least give me some good action sequences and fighting and all that stuff, which I will say is hard to do when I feel like the phony baloney, like you can feel it because it's a guy an actor fighting himself, you know, like
But they only had one fight against each other.
no, I know, but that was like the whole that, you know, just like the whole premise always kind of pulls me out of it a little bit, especially when they're supposed to be fighting and well, look, aside from that, the fight choreography in this movie is Van Damme, you know, like it is, and it was a lot of weird slow motion timing. Like the timing of slow motion was so fucking weird in this movie, where like all of a sudden it's like a million other options that could have been better for slow motion, and then they get like no, like some guy just like leaning over,
or him breaking the glass. Alex breaking the glass after he drank it in the club.
You could tell like someone. It was like when someone gets like, "Hey, we got this new slow motion camera. Let's test it out." And then they're like, well, now we're going to use it in every scene, you know, at least once in every fucking scene. And then also, you know, like the fight choreography, the action sequences. I love the boat stuff. I love the island thing. I loved all of the kind of like industrial thing, the torture, rescuing. I liked all of that plot line, but the fight choreography was just like very dated, like very like there's so many ways to do it better now. And then there were so many better ways to do it then. And it just felt like hacky, but it wasn't necessarily the worst movie that we've seen on this mountain that we've seen in this podcast.
Jeff?
All right. So I originally it was going to be a 1.5. After watching the documentary and rewatching a little bit, I'm going to go up to 2.5. Silk boxer hand jobs.
Silk boxer.
Out of 5.
I'll tell you what he said to her. Keep going.
Basically, a lot of what Mike said. There were certain choices in fights. The problem is one of the things that got me, especially with the Bolo fight, is I've already seen what that fight could be in Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And that fight that I got in this was a shadow of what I saw in Bloodsport. And Bloodsport, at least it was in a kind of official setting, and this one when Bolo starts it off, it's a street fight. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fucking good, and I was kind of meh about it. I didn't like some of the characters. I'm like with the Miss Olympia, I thought it was gonna be a way more important, bigger fight with her at the end with the brothers, because they built her up to be this like Amazon.
I wanted her to be such a badass. I wanted so much violence from her.
I think it's very difficult to show men beating up women.
They didn't have a problem with it here.
No, they didn't really beat her up, man.
Backhands the shit out of that girl.
No, they didn't really like. If a woman is coming at you with intent to fucking hurt you really bad, right? Like this lady is clearly I'm in the bad team. I'm a villain, whatever. Like if there was a man coming up, like look at every other man in this fucking like they showed that fucking dude with the cowboy boots. They showed him being fucking punched to death.
Yeah,
and they didn't show that to her because it's very difficult to be like, let's show more violence towards women. Like you can't cheer on a dude beating a woman. You can't cheer that.
I wanted to see her kicking ass.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see them beating her up.
No.
I wanted to see her be almost unbeatable, and then through some weird confluence of things that she gets like distracted, and then like
the girl does something. The girl that's tied up like wraps around her legs and
it's
like chokes
revenge
her,
for the
something.
sexual assault, and all of a sudden like throws the rope down. She trips and falls and lands off like
100%.
she falls off the thing, because then whatever. But I still wanted to see more of her.
Yeah.
The problem with I think that would have been a good idea. The problem is that I don't think that actress could have carried that.
Tia Carrere could have done it. We've seen her fight in a limousine. But anyway,
but you have that fight. If you get Tia Carrere, you get a great fight or a great chick fight, but you don't get the sex scene. Which one are you taking, Jeff? Which one are you taking?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's Tia Carrere though. But She
In
did Playboy. Wait,
1991,
she
that
did
choice is
Playboy.
obvious.
She did Playboy. She would have done it.
She did a sex scene with Mike Myers in fucking Wayne's World.
That wasn't a
Yeah.
real sex scene. That wasn't
But-
this. This was fucking porn, Mike. What would you?
Yeah. He
come
actually
on, man.
had sex with her. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
There's
like,
no way
come
he
on.
did not put it inside of her. But I did think that I did think that the story was great up until halfway when they said we're not going to talk about story anymore and just do action sequences for the last 40 minutes of the movie.
Every action movie on Earth.
But they still had some kind of in Commando. He's still going after his fucking daughter. His daughter's still a player in the thing. In this one, it was just like, all right,
Yeah,
now
but in
let's just murder her.
Commando, once he got his daughter, he could have just left. But he was like, nah, I gotta
Yeah,
finish this shit.
Would you leave? Would you leave, Neri?
No,
Would you
I
leave? Exactly.
I mean, I don't think I would have gotten there. I don't think I would have gotten there.
I
would
would
have made it. I would have made it past that fucking jumping off the fucking plane. I would have made it past that part. Like, all right, there
But
goes that. I guess my daughter did because I died.
I do think it was a fun movie. There's a lot of people that say that this is like the third best Van Damme movie. I don't agree with that. But there was enough in there, and also reading a little bit more and hearing about him, why he did this movie, what he like, it gave me a little bit more to appreciate. That's why I watched it a second time after I watched the documentary that he did in those interviews that he did. But I can't give it more than a 2.5 because there's a bunch of Van Damme movies in my head that I know are 4s and 5s that don't hold a candle to this. So that's why I'm giving it a 2.5.
I'm giving it a 15 out of 15. No, I'm giving it a 5. Okie dokes. 5. Okay, man. Freeze frames. Out of 5. I absolutely love this movie. I thought it had great plot. I was enjoying it. The phony baloney did not bother me because I'm fully aware that I'm watching a movie. I'm fine. It didn't take me out of it. There has not been. I don't remember the last time that something took me out of a movie because I'm already aware that I'm watching a movie. I'm like, oh, okay. I say that knowing now, thinking about The One. When I watched The One, I was like, oh, get the fuck out of here. Like I yelled that at the screen. I was like, get the fuck off. No, not The One, which is the Jet Li movie where he kills his partner and like he ends up being the bad guy, where he did some reconstruction surgery to his face. Yeah. Fuck, I forgot. All right.
That wasn't the one.
Which one's that one? I want to see that one.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's really bad. It's him and Jason Statham. It's him and Jason Statham, and it's so fucking bad, Mike. It's so fucking bad.
What's that one?
I am. Oh my! No, but wasn't the one with Jason Statham? Wasn't Jason Statham the one?
No,
Jason Statham's in the one.
But we'll talk about
Delroy Lindo is in the one.
Well, I love Delroy Lindo. Jesus Christ.
Delroy Lindo's going to be in the new Blade movie. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
he's great.
Blade's grandfather. Anyways,
War.
There you go, War. Bro, that took me out. That took me out. And I was like, oh, fuck you. That's an insult to your audience. Fuck you.
Higher rating than the one, but all right, we'll continue.
I don't think the one is great. I don't think the one is great. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big
fan. That's why
fan
I'm telling you the War has a higher rating than the one.
All right. So going back to Double Impact, I would say I love this movie. I think he did real acting. I think the plot was good. I think the action was good. I enjoy the fact that even their actions their type of actions, their preferred actions are different than each other. Where Alex is more about guns, he goes gun first and then hand to hand. Chad is the other way around. Not that either one of them don't do the opposite. They do. Both of them do. But I love that fact. I was very impressed with how he was able to make it seem as if Alex was somehow more built and cut than Chad.
It was the tank top and the slicked hair.
Because they're the same guy.
Hair, man. I did that slicked hair for a long time, thinking it made me look tough.
He said in that interview, she goes, did you put wigs? He goes, no. I just put gel and I slicked the hair back like in Lionheart. And I was like, two different people. Like that's what he said.
He's like, those are the characters. Gelled hair and not gelled hair.
Yeah.
What were the characters' names? Gelled hair and not gelled hair.
Yeah.
Impact 1, Impact 2.
Yeah. Single impact and then double impact.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed this movie. I will say that out of the 80s, 90s Van Damme movies, I think that this is the third best Van Damme movie. It drops off once you start getting into JCVD because that's by far a fucking excellent movie. So it just everything else goes down. But I think I'm having a hard time. I know
Number
Kick-
1, Street Fighter. Number
Bloodsport.
2,
Bloodsport. I would say this. Top of my head would be Bloodsport. I'm not even including Time Cop because Time Cop was after that time frame. But in that time frame, I will go Kickboxer. I will go Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and then Double Impact. Lionheart. Goddamn. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's not go through it.
The Quest was there too. And
No,
check out Mount Geekmore on the Geek Bro Podcast Network.
Sudden Death was 95. I love that movie when he gets the mascot and puts him in the fucking grinder.
The mullet. The mullet is the star of that movie. We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there.
God, I hope it's next.
Hard
All right.
target.
We gotta spin.
5. Yeah, so I give it 5. Okay, 5 free.
Universal Soldier was in 92. I'm just letting you know. There's a bunch of
Soldier.
Yeah. Universal Soldier. I'll put Cyborg and Death Warrant are not great movies. This is coming from a fucking Van Damme fan, and I don't think those are.
Well, Cyborg was his last Canon movie because he had a 3-picture deal with Canon Films.
That is correct.
And Cyborg was the last one.
I loved him in Predator.
Did you ever hear the story of why?
Did you ever
hear the story of why he got fired? The story goes that he kept pestering the producers to have the Predator do more kickboxing.
It's like I can throw kick.
And they were like, "You're just a monster. You're just a monster. You're just a monster." And he wasn't Van Damme yet, so they were like, "You're just a monster. You're just a monster."
Hey,
I can throw kick. I'm very flexible.
Neri, are we counting cameos? Because he was in Breakin'.
Yeah.
So,
so what's
the wheel? I think
we gotta go. Yeah, we gotta go to the wheel for the next episode.
Next episode.
Just chill to the next episode.
Where is this shit?
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my god, he actually did. He voiced Count Dracula in Robot Chicken.
I buy it.
Yeah, I'd buy that. I'd watch that movie. Him as Dracula.
I'm going to suck blood.
Let's have this anti-gravity sex scene.
Yeah, I will spin kick and then the head pop off and drink the blood.
All right. Just to let you guys know that we are. If you want to add any movies to the list, to the wheel, make sure to email us at kickflixpod@gmail.com. That's kickflixpod@gmail.com. And let's go ahead and spin the wheel to see what we're gonna watch.
Please give me one of mine.
I was gonna say I hope Mike gets one this time.
I hope.
Come on, no!
American Ninja.
No!
Yes, American Ninja. Ba-na-na-na-na. American Ninja.
Mike, poor Mike. Poor Mike.
I mean, I like American Ninja, man. I remember the Michael Dudikoff shit. So.
Yeah, man.
We just wished them happy birthday on.
We got to do more ninja hand signs for American Ninja.
I gotta be honest with you, this wheel loves a fucking ninja, not for nothing.
Yeah, it's
for
been
real.
a lot of ninja movies. We need to subcategorize it.
Can you put ninja in parentheses after all my picks? Because then maybe I'll finally get one chosen.
Dirty Ho Ninja.
Fist foot way ninja.
Hey, let's do it.
All right, man. Thank you guys for checking us out. We were a bit rusty this episode. Myself, starting with myself, I was really fucking rusty.
You're still rusty.
A lot. I was fucking brutal. But make sure you guys check us out. Thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you check us out on all the listening outlets and go to geekbro.com to check out the other podcasts on the Geekbro Network that include, but are not limited to, the Pero Let Me Tell You, the What's Up Bro, Cramocopia, Shiver, and the What's Up Bro podcast. So make sure you check that out. And Childlike at Best with Mike Valdez. So make sure you guys check that out. Very appreciative. And that's how kicking is done. Oh, yeah.
KickFlix.
Yeah.
KickFlix.
It's like Netflix, but like